Hi, so this is a demo of some open source technology I've been developing to manipulate graphs at scale, and in this case, HTML pages based on some semantic graphs. So the logic is that here's a web page with a bunch of content, right? And we're going to see some further examples. What I can do is, because we are man in the middle, we can manipulate the whole content. So that means that I can then replace the whole content with X's. So what you see here is every kind of X here represents a bit of a word there, right? So it gives away a sense. And because we can do that, I can take all this text and all this information I can send to an LLM and then get it to classify, like do a first pass of it. In this case, we're classifying for positivity versus negativity. So you can see that there's neutral, there's negative, there's some positive. And the formula here is a bit simple. If it's below 0.3 is negative, above 0.6 is positive. We could also, and of course, you could see each of these bits of text, right, matches the bits of text that we have here, right? So then we can also grab the topics. So these are the topics that the text is talking about that we have here. But what's interesting is that we can then only display based on particular rating. So what you see here is that this is a filter where we're only showing if it's 0.3 or above. So you can see we're going to show 0.4, 0.6, 0.3. This was 0.2 is not being shown. So there's still some there. But if you just say I want 0.5 and above, it will look like this. So you can see there's a lot less articles, and the articles now are a lot more positive, right? And then you can even go only show me 0.6 above, etc., right? So that's kind of the idea, right? So let's look at another example, right? So here we got politics, right? So this case is the intercept on politics. So can you see I can change all the content as before. I can then map where they're neutral or not. And this is where it gets interesting, because you can start sometimes see that some titles or some text is more neutral, but then the text is actually negative. So you can see the variations here. You can see the titles. So these are the titles that we have in some of these cases. Actually, in this case was like, we didn't pick up a proper title, so it's kind of like none. And then but you could see the multiple ones. And then like this is the 0.3 and above. So we can see that 0.2 not showing 0.5s. And again, if you go only show with the 0.5, there's a lot less content being shown.